So officially welcome to our full blue moon Halloween, or it has many names and many different traditions. Um, I personally am of a Celtic, Lithuanian, and Polish, as well as other things, traditions. But so I celebrate and honor very similar, but it is the Celtic New Year tonight, which is also called Samhain. Many people might be familiar with that. It has been adopted by many on the New Age path as part of the turn of the year. But what I think is so incredibly special is on this night, it is not just Celtic that celebrate this. This is celebrated by numerous cultures in their own beautiful way. And the fiber that holds it all together is the remembering and the connecting to spirit and your ancestors. Um, I've had people ask me different traditions. I know in many Eastern European traditions, they have different names for it, but often it is connected to the Forefathers' Day, which goes back before the church. In Lithuanian culture, it actually is connected to, I am not going to butcher her name tonight, because I do, but it's connected to, of course, nowadays, the Catholic remembering of All Souls Day, but originally of the goddess of the underworld, who also was connected to the earth and the bounty of the earth. She was not just death, she was death and the mysteries of life. So that is celebrated also tonight. You have Samhain, you have different traditions. You have, of course, the very popular Dia de los Muertos that is going on and has its own beautiful lineage. Those of the Hoodoo tradition celebrate Fetgir right around now, and many more. So I really encourage you guys to, if you don't know, tonight to maybe set the intention to bring that guidance, whether or not you know. I think that's very important. Whether or not you know your actual physical DNA ancestry, sometimes you can set and ask spirit and ask your ancestors, we're going to call in tonight, for signs and guidance to your lineage, and you would be amazed what they will start throwing in your path. You will be amazed, and it will feel like a coming home. I know when I was reaching out, because I have a basic knowledge of some of my ancestry, but when I was reaching out to really start going deeper past the church traditions, to really start connecting, I was really literally a goddess was thrown at me from the Polish tradition as well, who, of course, it's so funny because I can't find the page anymore for her, that really, like, literally she threw at me. Every other page I found, her name is Ragna, and she is nowadays thought of as just a witch, very similar to Baba Yaga. She's been demoted to just a witch that eats children. But originally, she actually was one of the archetypal goddesses of the great seeing mysteries. She controlled health and life. Her followers could heal people. She is considered Neolithic in her power. And then patriarchy came in and she got reduced because she couldn't get married off. And then the church came in and she became a witch that ate children. But I remember, the reason I'm sharing this is I remember when I started asking then, and I was like, can I connect? Because I feel this remembering. I literally started crying and heard her say, "Welcome home, daughter." Like, it was very overwhelming for me. And I knew that that was part of my lineage. And not everyone that is Polish is connected to that. But that's a way I show you that I don't have anything, any family or grandma. I mean, my great grandmother was like, no, thank you. We are superstitious. We are Roman Catholic. We are this. But that you can still connect to your lineage, whether or not you maybe have it written down on paper, or your mother or your grandmother or your great grandmother passed it down to you. So I want to put that out there because I know a lot of people often feel that they can't connect because maybe it wasn't shared. And I get that as well. My dad's side, we don't know almost anything about because he was adopted and they never shared. So it's really hard to piece together. And that has been a slower journey, but I still have guides come forward on that side. Okay. So I wanted to share that with you all before we started. How is the sound so far for you guys? Can everybody hear me? Nod your head or say yes in the comments. Yes, I see noddings. Yes, fabulous, beautiful. Okay. I just get worried. Okay, so for those who have not, of course, where are all of my mallets? I am a true spirit. I can never find all my things. Give me 1 second. There it is. Okay, so for those who have never joined me for ceremony, I'm going to give you the general breakdown before we go in. What we're going to do is I clear with energy and sound, and we're going to do a deep clearing because I think so far we have at least 21 people watching live together now, joining in circle, and that is amazing, and I'm so excited. And we're going to have a lot of people joining us on the replay, which still energetically will be connecting. So we had about 50 or so people sign up for tonight. So that's a lot of energy. It's a lot of different people that you're going to be coming in contact with. So we want to clear all that out. Make sure there's no karmic things that are going to be coming in. Make sure there's no energetic things that are coming in. And also just making sure we're all wrapping up. I'll try to do this at the end as well so that nobody's bringing anything or taking anything, right? Because when you have a lot of people, there's a lot of energies at play. So you'll hear me do that. We'll then be going in and asking full permissions. So if you're unfamiliar with permissions, the way I like to explain it to people on why I am very strong proponent of asking permissions, that's a horrible sound, is I like to think of it as, though my husband is often one who will say, I would totally go into my best friend's house and just eat their food. I'm like, well, the polite Southern girl in me would never do that. So I like to think of it as imagining in your mind, if you had a friend you knew would totally be like, oh yeah, totally, you can eat anything and make yourself at home. But most likely you wouldn't show up out of the blue, walk into their house without knocking and just start eating their food, right? Most of us wouldn't do that because we respect the friend. We at least call and say, hey, do you mind if I come over? Knowing that they'll probably be like, of course, you can totally come over. But because we respect and honor them as their own independent person, right? And their time is of value and their energy is of value, we ask. The same thing applies when we are connecting to spirit, when we're connecting to the elements, the land, right? Our ancestors. We ask permissions to acknowledge the fact that we value their time and we value the fact that they should be respected and asked first. So you will always hear me ask permissions. I'm going to guide you guys through that, through the land, through our ancestors, through the original land stewards. If you know what your land, the land you are sitting on today, was called, I encourage you to bring that in for yourselves, but you are not required. If you know some of the original benevolent land stewards, maybe the indigenous people that lived on your land, I encourage you again, when we get there, to bring that in by name to honor them. But a lot of us don't, and that's okay as well, okay? But I just want to put that out. I'll then be going through asking all permissions and calling in the elements and the spirits that go with them. You'll hear me say, and any spirit, of course, I always add in that support the highest good of all, but any spirit that is connected to our lineage. So I encourage you at that point, any spirit that you feel, so like earth, I'll always call in the gnomes. They are connected for me. The people of the earth, you know, those who are below. I call in fae often. I call in air dragons or fire dragons, depending. If there is a being that is of that element, that is stepping forward, that is calling for you to ask and work with tonight, I encourage you to invite them, to ask that permission, to welcome them in, okay? So don't just be like, oh, well, she didn't say the mythical pukas or this spirit animal, so I can't bring them in. When we're doing that, if I always say that, all y'all, bring all y'all. I normally fill the room with spirit, so just be prepared, okay? Because we have a team that is massive that wants to support us. Like you could fill a room, okay? So I'm going to encourage everybody to make sure your mics are muted. So I'm going to try to go through and see if I can see if anybody else is not muted. Because we don't want any. I think. Okay, somebody is not muted. Let me see. Okay, I think we have everybody muted. We just don't want, while we're in space, to have any crazy, because trust me, I have been there. Well, all of a sudden, you have a 5-year-old or a dog or your personal conversation with your partner, and the entire world gets to hear it. So since this is going to be recorded, we want to make sure we're all muted. Okay, so let's begin. So let's clear out any of that energy. I'm going to do that first clearing. Make sure I'm close enough here. Love styrofoam. Okay, so I don't know if any of you are energy sensitive, but I am very much so. And there is a lot of energy moving, so it is hard for me to ground. So I'm going to ground us in now, and I'll ground us in at the end as well. So, Divine Limonite, we're going to call in the energy of black tourmaline to anchor us in to this earth and our body at this moment, so we can be fully present. Divine Limonite, energy. Okay, so let's begin our clearing. So, Divine Love and Light, we're going to call in the Sacred Light Purification, Sacred Light Relationship Healing, Sacred Light Oath Fountain Contract Healing, Sacred Light Belief Clearing, and Sacred Light Entity Clearing now. Getting down to the root, clearing and resolving anything that is there between you and I, you and each other, any karmic things, any energy you may have picked up, really just kind of scrubbing us clean, but also with that intention that anything that is coming through tonight, any oath vows and contracts, any resistance you have to this healing, to this connection, that it is resolved, dissolved, and undone, so that you can be fully open and receptive to this work tonight. That includes the energy we're going to be bringing in, the energy of the full moon, the time when the veil is thin, healing that. I'm also going to bring in right now the energetic allergy healing for you all listening now and later, and the full blue moon, and this time of the 31st when the veil is thin, known by so many names. So Divine Love and Light, I'm going to clear all of that now. Creator, change it. We now set our sacred space and ask permissions, bringing your awareness to the very ground upon which you sit. This sacred sovereign land that has been around for eons. It has seen the rise and fall of civilizations. It has held the bones of many an ancestor. It has seen the births and the deaths of us all, and it will. We now ask permissions, O great land, O sacred land that we at this moment are sitting on, the land specifically you are on right now. It has called you into sacred relationship with it. We ask you permissions to do this healing and work tonight. We ask permissions of the original land stewards, the benevolent original rightful stewards of this land you are sitting on, the wise council, the great wisdom keepers. We ask your permissions and blessings tonight for this work we're about to do. We're going to set our sacred container now. We call to earth, all guides, guardians, and beings of earth that support the highest good of all. We ask your permissions and blessings this night. We call in those energies of the earth that connect to our lineage. Calling them, asking their permissions now, bringing them in. The ancient spirits of the mud and the rock, we call to you with permissions to do this work. Welcoming any spirit that is presenting, even if you do not know its name. With such gratitude, knowing that only those that support the highest good of all will come forward. We call to air, all guides, guardians, and beings of the air that support the highest good of all. We ask your permissions and blessings this night for this work we're about to do. Calling in the fae of the air, all winged creatures, the wind itself, welcoming any beings you see presenting themselves that are special and unique for you. We call to fire and all guides, guardians, and beings of fire that support the highest good of all. We ask your permissions and blessings upon this work we are going to do tonight. Call to the snakes, the kundalini energy of passion, the serpents of transformation, the dragons of fire. We ask your permissions to do this work, and we ask for your blessings. We call to water And all guides, guardians, and beings of water that support the highest good of all. We ask permissions and blessings. Inviting in the nymphs of the water, of the sea specifically. The fish. Welcoming in any spirit you see. We now go to the sacred container of below. We call now to all holy, healed, benevolent ancestors of our lineage to come and join us in ceremony tonight. We invite you in and we ask for your blessings and we ask permissions to do this work with you. We also call to all original benevolent land stewards of all lands of all times, all wisdom keepers that have come before. We call to you now. We ask permissions and blessings. Sacred container of above. We now call to all guides, guardians, and beings of above. All angels, archangels, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Michael. We call you in, all multidimensional beings as well that support the highest good of the collective. Calling in the Arcturians, call in the Palladians, the ascended aspect of Lemuria, the ascended aspect of Atlantis. Welcoming in those energies in now. Also hearing to welcome in the ascended aspect of the ancient Egyptian civilization as well. So we'll welcome in that energy. We're also going to call in specifically your team, your guiding team. I'm going to be calling in my guided team as well. As I say, you may notice that the room may start to feel very full, and that's okay. Setting that intention as we move forward that those who are ready to give messages will step forward one at a time or in a perfect harmony for whatever you need tonight. Moving to the sacred container of within now. Bring your awareness to your heart space and begin to slow your breath. Feeling your heart begin to expand, slowing down. And as your breath begins to slow, hold on guys, breathe here. My bowl is making its own songs. Better? There we go. Okay. So breathing here at the heart. As you breathe, begin to feel the heart swell with full compassion and love. Love at your heart, swelling it even more. heart connection. Remembering if there's sadness at the heart, you are also love. And you can bring that energy in. Okay, so from this now connected heart space, sending a cable down with that energy of love, down out through your feet, out through the layers of the earth. And we now ask permissions of Gaia to connect into her beautiful crystalline core of unconditional love. Remembering you ask permissions. You are allowed to connect into Gaia, to whomever needs to hear that. It is safe to connect into Gaia, and you are safe. Anchoring in here and connecting to that unconditional, beautiful golden light of Gaia, that ascended aspect of Gaia. Connecting in here, we anchor and root. And we welcome the washing up of her unconditional love up our cord, welcoming it up our legs, up our torso, filling our hearts, up in our throat, third eye, out our head. And then setting that intention through this unified energy of you and Gaia, we're going to connect into Source now. So sending that cord up through your head. And you can imagine, if you'd like, as far as you can through all time, all space, connecting in to the point of all creation. Or you may see it right above your head. Both are perfect. This is the point of all oneness. This is primal source energy, being and nothingness. The creative and destructive force of all creation. There is no good or bad with this. It is reality. Connect in here, seeing this beautiful primal energy. And then welcoming its beautiful iridescent spiraling light to flow down your cord into your head, your third eye, into your throat, and joining at your heart with the beautiful golden light of Gaia and your light of love from your heart, merging here in this ascended highest aspect of you. And in this connected space, rooted deep into the earth and expanding out into creation, we now call in our higher self. So setting that intention. And I'll support everyone calling their higher self in as well. So staying here in your heart space as we move forward, we now set the intention. I'm going to call in the alignment magic and miracles. So calling and wisdom of the trees. I'm going to call them in as a symphony together, really bringing in that energy. It's divine love and light, calling in those alignments now. Creator, change it. Rooting down, seeing your roots deep, 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 going back generations upon generations. This is your lineage, known and unknown. This is your history, your roots. We call forth now under this full blue moon, as the veils are at their thinnest, we call forth all holy, healed, benevolent ancestors to share their wisdom and messages with us in the Omada. Oh, that got exciting there. Oh, settle down. Settle down, everyone. Freaking out my dog. Freaking out the microphone. Sinking in here. I'm going to call in the alignment stardust as well. Hoping I won't break my equipment this time. Serious, but you have to have fun with all of this. Or else what is the point? So divine love and light. Calling in. Oh, yes, Sarah. Sarah raised her hand. Breathing, everybody. Sarah, if you have a question, feel free to type it in. Can you type it? Oh, do I have to unmute you? Oh, you can't hear me. Can you hear me now, everyone? Something get unplugged. Okay. That's what happens when I knock things over. Okay. So are we better? Everybody can hear? Okay, good. No worries. I will say though, sometimes the sound can get a little weird. There's a lot of sound vibrations. So. Yeah, there's a lot of energy. So don't worry if you can hear or not. Know that the energy and the sound are are coming anyway. And let me see if I can actually. I'm gonna get even more old school here. I'm trying to raise this up a little bit more. You'll get to see my beautiful, is this better? Is this better for everybody now? This should put you at a different frequency so you're not just getting the bowls. You won't be able to see my glorious face, but how's the sound for everyone now? Perfect, okay. You just get to see me in the mic. Beautiful, beautiful, okay. Okay, let's sink back in here. Breathing here. Oop, 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 oop. My foot. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. So breathing here. Move this over though with this new set. Okay. Sinking back into your heart. If you've come out of it. Breathing here. Sarah, it still says you have a hand raised, but I'm just going to assume that you're good now. So breathing here. Sinking back in. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to have it at this level. Connecting back into your heart. This is what happens when we have a lot of spirit going on here. So in Divine Love and Light, we're going to run the Sacred Soul Alignment Stardust. Now calling that in, reminding us, bringing us back to those points, those deep-rooted points of all time and space. Hey, Anana, hey, Uma. Hey, Anana, hey. Hey, Anana, hey, Ma. Hey, 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 oh, hey, Naimaya. Hey, 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 Anina. I'm going to call in now to help really support. You may not do too much of this. This was, of course, my plan, and it feels like the energy may not be wanting to go this direction anymore. Let me see. We're going to do ancestral clearing, but that's not the energy that wants to come forward. So we're going to go in a little bit different direction. Move my leg here. Breathing deeply. I'm going to call forth instead, if they haven't already stepped forward, your ancient lineage, your ancient wisdom. And also, if you feel any past lives, that includes part of your lineage. That is the energy that is coming forward for this group. So that's where we're going to go tonight. And that counts as your ancestors. Calling forward those of deep knowing and wisdom, those wholly healed, benevolent, ancient ones. We connect to you now. Calling that energy in. You may be seeing different things. You may not be seeing anything at all, and all of that is beautiful. You may be hearing things, feeling things, knowing things. I keep seeing the doors to a beautiful temple. And if so, if you are seeing any doorways in front of you, I invite you to go in. You are allowed to unlock this temple. Entering in here, those in our lineage that were shamans, medicine healers, guides, seers, they knew of this ancient connection and they were directly still connected to it. We invite that wisdom, that connection, that knowing back now into our lives, into our reality, that strong bond with this ancient healing and knowledge. Where there is no time and space, this is possible. We can simultaneously exist with this energy. Receiving any wisdom, anything you're seeing. Spiraling down now, sinking deep, deep into your roots. There it is, okay. So I'm now going to call in healing for you in connecting to this roots. So in Divine Love and Light, we're going to call in trauma disconnect and sacred light purification to really clear out anywhere we're holding trauma in our lineage, in our connection to our lineage, in connecting and rooting and anchoring to this. So in Divine Love and Light, Creator, change it. resolve and dissolve, clearing to the point of origin. All traumas related to our ancestry are aligned in our connection to them. Anywhere we hold any oath, vows, or beliefs that we cannot connect to our lineage, that we are not connected to our lineage, anywhere that we are holding any oath, vows, or contracts that we will disconnect from our lineage, that we will not be accepted if we connect to our lineage, that we will not be safe if we connect to our lineage, that is unsafe to be associated with our lineage. Divine love and light. Resolving, dissolving that to the point of origin now. Clearing that out in all roots. Hey ya na na, hey ya na na. Hey ya na na, hey ya. You are safe. Your ancestors call you home, child. We remember, we see, we honor you, ancestors, those who have come before. You are remembered. You are loved. We welcome your counsel now. We see you in your glory. In all of your faults and successes, expansion and learning. We release all ancestral DNA that does not support this connection. Anything in our blood that does not support this connection tonight. The song of your ancestors is calling to you, child. Full of love, full of longing, full of hope, and full of knowing. Breathing here. We anchor this energy in deeply now, anchoring it into our roots, anchoring it into our south, north, east, and west, our center, above, below, into every cell of our being, our nervous system, our skeletal system, our mind, our etheric body, our energy systems. We anchor this into our crown, into our root, into our roots below, into our soul star and earth star chakras. Anchoring it all in now, downloading, completing all DNA downloads. Welcoming all new connections. Closing down anything that is needed as well. Really rooting you back down into the earth. Calling in the black tourmaline energy in again. And the wisdom of the trees. That knowledge, ancient knowledge of how to root into Gaia. Calling that in now. Bringing you back down. Bringing you back in your body. We give such gratitude tonight. Such gratitude to the earth, air, fire, water, and all guides, guardians, and beings of these elements. To all benevolent, healed ancestors that have come forth. To all original land stewards and the land we sit upon. To all guides, guardians, angels, archangels, multidimensional beings that have supported this healing. We give gratitude to ourselves. Bringing that energy back in. Coming back into your physical form, into your physical body, bringing your awareness to your body and the sounds and the energy around you. Anchoring it back in here. Bring in the sacred light purification to clear away anything. When you're ready, coming back in and opening up your eyes. The mic. How is everyone doing out there? You all doing good? How's everyone feeling? Beautiful. Very light. Good, good. Okay, so feel free, let me know anything. France says, wow, that was intense. Yeah, that definitely was not what I had planned at all, but that's where we went. Could be because I asked for earlier, for those who joined me in my Arise Goddess group, I called in my ancient Lemurian priestess self earlier today for that channeling, and she just kind of stuck around. So, you know, I guess maybe she had other plans for us all tonight. So, as we go, this is a strong energy on right side. And yes, France, it is our ancestry. I was thinking more like a few generations back, maybe a few centuries back. They went all the way back, it is our ancestry as well. All of that is our ancestry. So, right ear is popping. So with ears too, you may be recalibrating what you can hear. I know I hear things through my ears. So that can happen. Experiencing a lot of light and energy and a deep connection to something deep and ancient. Beautiful, Dorothy. Beautiful. Yes, that went deep. Okay, pressure in forehead too. So what pressure in the forehead? I feel those often when things are trying to be downloaded. So what you might want to do is imagine opening up your crown. So just visualizing it, that may relieve some of the pressure, or ask them to slow the downloads down. I had to do that. Waves of color, beautiful, beautiful. It knocked me out. So if you do fall asleep, that happens all the time for people, and it may happen different times. So you are welcome to listen to this again. I highly recommend everybody waits 48 hours. I was going to say 24, but I'm hearing 48 before you listen again, because it will be continuing to clear, release, connect, and it may be a completely different experience. Okay. I am singing. I was singing with you. Yes. Yes, we were all singing together. Love it. Love it. Third eye and crown and ears. Yes, that's a good update. The deep moment. I'm trying. Bear with me, guys. My computer's like a little bit away, and I wore my contacts today, and I'm like, it might be time to go get an eye check again. I'm trying to read the comments. A deep moment with my ancestors. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so the last part of this ceremony is take your offering, whatever it is, and present it in gratitude for this work, right? So it can be anything. I'm going to take these out right before I put baby to bed, okay? You're going to do that. Cool? Everybody understand that part? And say gratitude tonight, okay? Be very conscious and try your best to be aware of what comes through over the next 24 to 48 hours, especially while you be sleeping tonight. Especially while you're sleeping tonight. There's very strong chance there will be some very exciting dreams and some knowings, or just things you wake up and you're like, huh, I didn't know that. Okay. So if anyone has any questions, these replays will be going out. I'm looking under my bed. Nice. Yes. Be conscious of your dreams. Be conscious of things to start putting themselves in your path in the next 24 to 48 hours. Books, videos, comments, all sorts of things. Just kind of be aware of what you're seeing. Animal spirit, anything. And if you feel a pull to kind of go down a rabbit hole with it, go follow that bunny. Follow that bunny. Okay. So, what are the offerings I got here a minute before you started? So the offerings are anything. An offering can be a piece of bread with honey, a glass of water, a sip of your favorite drink, a poem that you just feel called to say, I am sharing this poem in offering for you all. I said, if you're a person who is intimate and that is very sacred for you, that can even be an offering, dedicating that time, a dance, a song. People think offerings, incense, a candle burn. Please do fire safety though if you're using candle. A lot of places are very dry, even though it's been raining and snowing. So that's offerings. Anything that you can, anything, but make sure it's coming from a place that you're dedicating it and offering for this in gratitude for tonight. Okay. It's also said that beautiful candle and incense. That's perfect. It's also said in this time of the veils that these offerings support those ancestors. It feeds them, it nourishes them, and it gives them, it's a way for us to take care of those who have come before us, okay? So crazy, my family's favorite animal is pigs, and a pig found my yard. Yes. Beautiful. Yes, dancing before you dance. It's perfect. I love it. I love it. So that is tonight. Just be aware of everything. I'm going to be sending out the replay. And in that, if you guys are called to keep doing deeper work, you'll see it in November. we have a 2-part masterclass. I would love for you to come join us live. We're going to be doing it from Salem to continue this work from Salem, Mass, and American Stonehenge. So you'll see about that. But you check your email for this replay because that will give you all that information of how to, you know, it'll give you the video and everything. Okay. So love you all, boos. Have a beautiful night. And please, if you're not in the Rise group, come join us and tell me all about what's unfolding for you guys over the next 48 hours. I love, show me your offerings, do all the things, show me all the things, share it, come share in the community. Okay. So I'm going to say good night. Have a beautiful, beautiful night, all of you. And if anyone needs me, you can message me, okay? But enjoy all of this, loves, okay? Bye. If I can turn it off, I promise I can.